Hello. Welcome. Repeat after me. I am here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do. Because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. It's Monday again, week 7. Week 7 of awakening awareness. I started this group, this call, this meeting 7 weeks ago because I was really struggling on this journey of waking up. And I quickly realized I didn't know what anything was for. I thought I knew, and I was wrong. So, awakening awareness, that's what this has been. When you dedicate yourself to waking up, that's what happens, because what you focus on grows. I read this amazing book called Wrapped. Wrapped is focused attention. So all of the spiritual traditions talk about this. The big trend right now is what you focus on grows. And it's really true. So when you dedicate, I dedicated myself. I'm determined to see differently. I'm determined to see everything differently. I'm determined to be at peace. I must have chosen wrongly because I'm not at peace. So, yeah, I've dedicated myself 5 days a week, shown up every fucking day. Haven't always recorded it, but showed up every day to do this work. No compromising. The ego has nowhere to hide here. And that's been triggering as fuck. Not only for me, but for others, because guess what? Most times now, other people aren't showing up. There are no others. Everything is a lesson I would learn. And it's all happening for me. The purpose is to wake up in the dream, wake up from the separateness, to unwind the ego stories. Hello. So that's what we do. That's what I've been doing. That's what we're doing, unwinding ego stories. That's what practicing A Course in Miracles is all about. I hear that there's people who've been studying for decades and they're not doing it. When you do it, it works. What does that mean? It works? Well, you wake up, because that's the point. And it doesn't have to be hard. It's perceived as hard a lot. And the Course even says that in the development of trust. It doesn't have to be difficult, but it's quite often perceived as difficult because we're all egos here. And that's the point. The ego certainly doesn't want to be unwound. The ego's greatest fear is that that we will realize that we have the choice to decide against it. It's really that simple. It's a choice to decide against it. Once you see it, once you see the ego for what it is, the insane thought system, once you start looking at it without judgment, once you stop trying to fix it, sorry, let me use my I language here. Once I saw the ego and I stopped trying to fix it, that's it. Just look at it without judgment. That's what unwinds it. And that's why it's so simple and it's so easy. And when it gets complicated, that's because I'm an ego trying to do the course. Egos don't do this course. And egos don't wake up. What a grand adventure. My favorite note today. I am a happy learner. We're just here learning. It's all a big lesson. And so, yeah, just really sinking further into this. The script is written. Nothing to do here, nothing to fix. I'm here to learn. What could I learn here? Jay, what am I to learn here? I'm watching for the first time. I joined a retreat from Living Miracles. And it's called The Dreamer of the Dream. It's from 2020. It's just, it really is so simple. Thanks for showing up, Christine. How are you doing?
I guess we have one little part to play. That's it, right? One tiny little part, which is willingness. And that's it. Mm. Yeah. I've been practicing handing everything over to Jesus. I was watching yet another David video, and again, the reminder of everything has to be handed over. All the thoughts, one by one, have to be handed over. Everything, pet thoughts, money thoughts, food thoughts, everything. Everything has to be handed over. So it's just been really watching the thoughts and am I willing, noticing when I'm not really willing to hand it over. I'd rather play it out longer or mull it over longer or something. So I've just really been doing that. Yeah.
I love that part in the Course where it says the Holy Spirit asks of us but this, that we bring all of our secret thoughts to Him. Open up all the vaults, all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and look at it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I'm really starting to love how I don't have to fix it. That was really hard in the beginning for me. And now it's just so like there's a freedom in there. It's no longer my responsibility to fix this shit show. My only responsibility is to look at it. Thank fucking God.
Hmm.
Just have to look.
Yeah, it is a relief, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
when that is fully, like for me, it always, my shifting experiences always, always, always started with like an intellectual understanding. Oh yeah, I don't have to fix this, right? There's nothing here that I can fix, right? In here. And then eventually it would drop into this full on experience. And then the movement really happens. That's how I find it works for me. It goes from a mental understanding to an actual experience. And that's the thing that goes in my back pocket. I call them back pocket experiences. And then when I forget and I start really indulging in the form, whatever that takes, like taking food seriously or the plants too seriously or the dogs, like Andrew, whatever, money. It's like I can remember to whip out, like I keep them in my back pocket, like back pocket experiences, and then I whip it out whenever I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like a whip. Remember that?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good. I call those anchors. And that's why I
Uh-huh.
have notes. Like I literally have notes everywhere. I'm blessed to live alone, so I can be as neurotic as I want. Um, and yeah, anchors, pocket experiences, because it's so easy to forget. Keith Kavanaugh calls it the ego Jedi mind trick. We forget.
Yeah, I call it spiritual amnesia.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to have that. I don't want to. I've seen it happen. I feel like I've watched it happen in front of me with mighty companions. It's like there's actual guidance, like full on very specific guidance. And then it's just like an hour later, it's like totally trickles out because there's so much fear. There's so much fear. Yeah. And I want to recognize everything.
Mhm.
I don't want to be experiencing fear and calling it something else so I can hide.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that doesn't bring me joy, so I'm not gonna do that. I've seen that a lot. And
Mhm.
it's like, oh God. Like,
Mhm.
we don't know what joy is. So to say, oh, that doesn't bring me joy, so I'm gonna pick another direction. I don't know. It seemed to me a lot of the time it was hiding, actually. It was more hiding. But I guess we have to hide until we don't have to hide anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all we're doing until we're not doing it. Just
Yeah.
hiding out.
Yeah, until there's nothing left to hide.
Mhm. I had a great talk with my mother today.
Oh,
Like I don't call people. I don't know. I've never really been much of a caller, like reaching out and contacting people, including my parents. And my mom over the years has said things to me about it. Like, I want you to call me. I just want you to call. And I was like, if I feel guided, I'll call. I'm not gonna just call out of obligation or I should or whatever. And there is guilt there, and I know I can't call out of guilt. If I do that, the phone call is going to be a shit show. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for anybody. Even if she thinks she's getting what she wants, which is a phone call from her daughter, it's going to feel like shit. Something will feel like shit. So, but for the last couple of days, I've been feeling a little nudge in her direction, and there were some symbols today. So, and usually when I feel a nudge for something, I kind of wait a little bit. Like, okay, how do I feel about that? And like, depending on what it is and how strongly I feel it, I just kind of wait it out a little bit and wait for more nudges. And so I called, and it was good. It was really good, and it was just really honest and yeah, really present because she's going through stuff. Her boyfriend died very recently, and but it seems like the perfect thing is unfolding. That's just how the call felt to me. Like everything's fine. Even if she's struggling a little bit here and there, everything's actually underneath it all, everything's actually perfectly orchestrated and unfolding, you know? And she's happy going off on a trip with one of her friends instead of me, which feels really nice. That feels really good. So if I end up going somewhere with Andrew, then that's what happens and she can go and do her thing and we'll meet when we meet. I don't know when that's going to be. Yeah. Also, last couple of days with practicing with the handing it over, I keep seeing David in my mind, reminding me to ask a question to Jesus, which is, it's funny, I'm saying it like it was a question, but it's not a question. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm going to come back to that. I feel like there's something there. Um, it's actually ask Jesus to show you who you really are. Ask that question. Ask for that. Show me, Jesus, show me who I really am, you know? And that when I first heard, I mean, I've heard this probably lots of times from David, right? Like in various videos over the years. But this time when I heard it, I was like, huh, I don't want to do that. I was like, shit. Part of me doesn't want to know what I am. Like I could tell there's resistance in there. And I
Mhm.
was bummed out. So I've been sitting with that. I have. I've been sitting with that one. Show me what I really am. Because it means the stuff that I think mistakenly think that I am will fall away. So there's some kind of ego clamoring onto fake shit, personality stuff. And with all of this stuff, there's just been this experience of vastness. Like last month, all the terror that I was talking about that I'd been feeling for months,
Mhm.
the same sensation comes in, but it's not terrifying anymore. There's little waves of fear that come in, but there's a lot of vastness. There's this experience of vastness. And I'll it's like I picture things in my mind and I like when I'm sitting with my thoughts and they're right here, they're right in the forefront. It's too loud. It's like I don't need to be that close to them. They become a distraction. But something happens and everything just like gets pushed out. It's like it feels further away. It gets pushed out, but in like okay, this isn't working for you. So let me show you what will work for you. We're going to push this thought out. So there appears to be a lot of space between the thought and the image and the thing that you think you are. Like there's a lot of space between. And this space between is where I. So you get to look through these thoughts. You get to look at these thoughts through me, through this filter, this Christ filter. I didn't know these words that I'm saying right now. I did not have this explanation. It's just coming in right now. So it gets every time I'm in that experience, I'm like, oh, like I'm so relaxed and it's peaceful. It's not the ultimate peaceful, but I'm being shown something. It's like I'm being shown a place that I can go, a tool that I can use to remember to just push it out and put me in between. Put me in between so you can look through this filter. It was really interesting. It was um I it even like I find when I am listening, when I'm in my mind and I'm playing around with the thoughts, what happens is spirit takes over the direction that we go. So I don't decide where my thoughts are going. Spirit does, and I follow. And these things just happen when it looks like that. These things just happen. And it involves an experience. Like at one point I was on the beach in Mexico with Andrew in my mind, practicing this Christ filter. And all of a sudden, the world was not what it I think it is. It's like time and space shifted, totally shifted. And but I don't know how to describe it because it was an experience. Experiences just don't have words. They're too far removed from reality. They're too far removed. It's just a constant, there's just these constant reminders that things aren't what I think they are.
Yeah, beautiful.
Just keep handing them over because
Mhm.
each time you do, I can show you something different. I can show you what's really going on. Yeah.
And if you're determined to see things differently, then you're willing to allow him to show you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the only thing I need to, I just need to be willing to see what's in my way,
Yeah.
what thoughts and beliefs, what's in my way, what's in the way, what am I attached to, what thoughts am I attached to, what beliefs am I attached to. As long as the willingness is to see that stuff. Yeah. It's wild to me that I've had some mystical experiences. Like like I have no doubt what's true. I actually have no doubt. I have no doubt that the course is true. I have no doubt that David is the walking Christ. I have no doubts about that. And yet, fear still creeps in. Like I know those things are true actually, and just waiting for me. All the time waiting for me. And yet I push them aside.
Because you're doubting that you are the walking Christ.
Yeah.
Because if David is the walking Christ, then who
Oh,
else is the walking Christ?
I know.
And so so he's showing you that's where your doubt is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like Matt said, the whole picture of Jesus and the picture of yourself.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to give me a picture of Jesus the other day, one of those beautiful Christian renditions. And I almost laughed. I almost laughed out loud. Thankfully, I didn't because it would have been very disrespectful to the woman. But yeah, like if you're going to be carrying around a picture of Jesus, put it beside you or put it on your mirror. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's been an interesting couple of days.
yeah, yeah, it sure has been. Yeah,
Yeah, my alarm went off. My alarm goes off at 1:45, the time that we're supposed to do Zoom, right? And
yeah.
my alarm goes off and I'm watching my mind. I'm like this with my mind, like, okay. The
Yeah.
alarm goes off. I reach for it. I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know it was going to go off, but it went off and it really was like this. What am I doing? What am I going to do? Shit. Do I want to do this? I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And In the meantime, James Bond is playing in the background. So, so I sat there, and I sat there, and my alarm went off again at 6 because my lesson alarm goes off every 30 minutes, right? So it goes off at 6, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute. I was watching the guilt over missing and the blah, all the blah 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 blah. And I took my time, even though I knew I was gonna be late. I took my time. Like, I'm not gonna run up the stairs and whip open. No, 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 no. Let's just be with what I'm actually feeling in this goddamn moment. You know. So yeah, I like the zoom in. Like, I feel like I do this with my thoughts a lot. Whoosh. Like, I zoom right in because I want
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
I want to see if I don't want to see as best as I can. Yeah, in the moment. Yeah.
And that's the willingness. I think a lot of people are still quite reluctantly, they're not, this is me making a judgment, I catch myself doing it. They're not making, they're not willing to really look. We don't want to look. We don't really want to look. The ego doesn't want to look.
Yeah.
I've noticed a really big difference since I made a couple of declarations. In the old system, when I was part of the Tao community, we would make vows. And it's basically a promise, it's an intention. And I put this up on my wall in really big letters, I am a happy learner. And when you make a declaration like that, first you're tested, right? See how serious you are. And then it's like, no, no, this is what I said. This is my intention. This is my declaration. And then everything shifts because I think it's like a next level of willingness. I'm declaring my next level of willingness. Powerful shit.
It's funny. I would say I was a a hostile learner for a long time. Like, I
Yeah.
was hostile. Um, but with each allowing step, each allowing experience, the outcome was lovely, right? Like, the outcome of each step is so lovely. And it shifted from hostile and angry to I don't know, something softer, something gentler, something just way softer, warmer. It is interesting because I was hostile and angry, but I was very willing, because every time Living Miracles said something to me or I went to them, tell me what I need to hear or whatever, I would take it in even if I hated what I heard. I would take it in. So that was always a huge gratitude and relief for me, that I could be angry and see it, be resistant and see it, hear what I needed to hear, not like it or like it, depending on however that went, and embrace it like that. That's how I started. I feel like that's how Spirit was showing me the truth about willingness. Like, do you notice this? I felt like that happened a lot over the years. Pause. Do you notice this? Pause. Do you notice this? Because I wouldn't always see the steps that were being taken and the stuff that was being shed, the layers that were coming off. Like, I didn't always see it. And when it was helpful to be shown, I was shown.
Mhm. One of the things that they're talking about in this retreat is the value in expressing. Um, I think I was a bit confused about that in the beginning because of projections and how um, yeah, I like there was a blockage there about allowing, and this is it's funny because as I'm saying this, I'm just being shown that no, this is part of my conditioning from childhood. I was punished for having emotions. I was punished for having needs. I was punished for being seen. Um, so in June, when I started the course and all of this unconscious guilt came up, and I started having all of these meltdowns and doing this big relapse into my mental illness story, I actually, yeah, no, that's a big reason why I started this group with the intention of it being an expression session, because I finally started understanding that all of this stuff that was coming up was unconscious guilt and we need to get it out of us. But it really hit home today when I was listening to with Andy and Penn talking about these expression sessions that they have. And the whole point of it is like we have this unconscious guilt that comes up. And this tied into the whole no private thoughts thing, which is I'm like trying to conceptualize living in a community with no private thoughts and like how are you not just going to be fighting all of the time and projecting all of your stuff. So it was really helpful to hear them talk about these expression sessions and then have David come on and say talk about the importance of no private thoughts. And like if I'm in community with you and something happens and you trigger me and I get angry, not telling you is not serving me. It's not allowing the process to happen. It's not trusting the process. Having an expression session with a mighty companion is healing because I allow my unconscious guilt to come up and to be seen and healed with somebody who's not going to take it personally. Like if I tell you, Christine, I fucking hate you right now. It's not personal. You understand because you're a mighty companion. You understand that it's not personal. It's my ego thought system coming out, and the whole point is so that I'm willing to see it a different way, and you're willing and able to hold the space, a container for that to happen. So I got all excited about going to community again, and then they talked about some food triggers, and I fucking freaked out, and I don't want to go to community. I'm not ready.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. You're gonna go, okay, I'm ready. No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
oh my
Okay, I'm
God.
ready.
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
what they said about the food, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that. I'm not.
What'd they say about food? What'd they say?
It was Ken. He's a bald guy with a beard. This is
Yeah,
from 2020.
yeah.
He was talking about it was the fish sticks. Like he went through, all of these processes about healing his preferences around food, and then it got to the point where he thought he was doing pretty good, and he had a conversation with Jesus about it. Like, I feel like I've conquered this. I'm doing pretty good about it. And Jay goes, "Oh yeah." And then the next night there's like fish sticks served, and he fucking loses it. Like, it just totally loses his shit over the fish sticks. And he's like, oh fuck, well, here we go again. There's a little bit more in there. And so, but it was really great because it's a like-mindedness, right? Like they're all there willing to do the work. So they had an expression session around it, and then they could all laugh. Like he got it out, healed it, and then we all get to laugh. And then 3 years later, we're all still laughing about it, and now I get to laugh about it too. And I'm like, holy fuck, I don't know if I'm ready. I have my thing, Christine, is mayonnaise. I have such an aversion to mayonnaise. I don't, something happened when I was a child, some sort of traumatic experience. I'm not ready. I could be like, it's amazing to me as I watch the thoughts of the completely insane thought system that I have, seemingly in my head. I seem to visualize it in my head, my mind. This thing with mayonnaise, like, holy crap. Um, yeah, what a completely insane thing. And it seems like such a small thing, but it's like Mount Everest. And that got triggered today, and I'm like, holy fuck, I can't, like, so much terror came up in me about, like, yeah, projecting all this fear into the future. Like, mayonnaise could be my kryptonite.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you're describing to me is the ego is sending out the dogs of war to collect your reasons, your
Yeah,
witnesses, to
don't
make
go.
your list
Yeah,
as to why to not to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's starting already. Yeah, I haven't even got the form filled out
This
yet.
is good news, right? Yeah, this is really good news. Expression sessions, like no private thoughts, no people pleasing, those three things, like it's brilliant. It is really, really brilliant. Like the space is held. Like if you're triggered and you go to somebody, the person that you're triggered by, and you need a third, you get a third to hold the space. Like it is really brilliant. My first um really uncomfortable experience was that when I was there and we were all having lunch. There's probably 12 or 15 of us. And this is what we were doing at the time. We were having expression sessions right after lunch at the lunch table with the dishes still there and everything. And one of the people there had a huge issue with me. And when someone is expressing, everybody else stays quiet. And your only function is to watch your mind. You don't chuckle or smile or nod, nothing. It's helpful to do nothing. You just allow the person to find their way through the expression, wherever they need to go. So no interruptions. And this person had an issue with how I dressed, and I wasn't taking things seriously. And it was one thing after another. And I watched my mind want to defend. I watched and then I'd be like, okay, this is defending. I want to defend. I want to explain. Oh shit, shit, shit. And then I would say these things in my mind, and then they would relax. And then it was up again, and it would be like, you fucker. Da, 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 da. Oh wait. Okay. And then it would come back down. I watched my mind do this, while he was expressing about me, seemingly me, right? And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It's like so beautifully orchestrated because I was actually I was attracted to him, but just in a surface physical way. It wasn't like other attractions I've had to other men where it's like it feels like I'm pulled towards him. This wasn't like that. This was just like ooh, that's a pretty surface, you know. So it wasn't I didn't feel anything from it, but it was interesting because here I was physically attracted to him and here he was hating me, right? And then at one point, um my link and his link, meaning the person that we were attached to while we were there, assigned to, right? Uh, was like, yeah, we feel like you guys are supposed to spend some time together. This is like, I don't know, a week or two later. I don't really remember the timeline, but it's like, yeah, you guys spent some time together. And then as soon as we got together, he was babbling, saying all kinds of things. I don't even know about what. and I was crying. And it was great because he needed to babble and I needed to cry. So we just got to do that. And then nothing. I don't really remember anything after that, really. And I felt a draw to someone else after that. So like you feel that draw towards whoever, wherever your healing is, that's who you're going to be drawn to, whether it's really uncomfortable or really soft and quiet and lovely, you know? Yeah, that no people pleasing and no private thoughts. It's really brilliant when you're in a group and you're all sitting there with the same purpose and someone is running the expression session and then you all fall in line and then someone starts to express and then you take your turn or you don't take your turn, whatever. But it's wide open. It's wide open for anything. Anything can be said. In my experience, anything can be said. It's powerful. It's really, really powerful because I find like for me, my mind would go there. Stuff would get exposed because there was space for it to fall out.
Mm-hmm.
I was really scared at first because it's so wide open. You feel like you're on the edge of a cliff or you feel like you're jumping out of a plane or whatever it is, like it was really hard at first, really scary at first, and then it wasn't. Then it for me, then it turned into, oh, I'm definitely saying this because otherwise I'm crucifying myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it became quite easy because the alternative was just unacceptable. The alternative was so much more painful
Mm-hmm.
than the fear of exposing. Yeah. And the it showed me a level of trust and the relaxation that comes from it, knowing that I'm just going to say whatever is there. It doesn't get stockpiled. It doesn't get a discomfort of shoving away and creating a stockpile of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All the support you could ever want. Hold on to your bootstraps.
Yeah, well, that's like one of the most terrifying things to the ego, right? All the support you could want. One of the visualizations that I get quite often when I want to run away is rats jumping off a ship, like just hundreds of rats jumping off a ship. Like, get me the
Like,
fuck out of here. Like, all of my parts are like, yep, we're done. And so, yeah, when you say that, all the support you could get, I'm like, oh, jump, we're jumping. I can feel it. Several,
yeah.
several jumpers. We're out. Oh, that's it. Fuck it. We're out of here. You're gonna be like that.
And however it unfolds, if you're too scared to get on that plane or whatever, you know, that's okay. It's okay. Like be gentle with yourself.
Well, what
I
I
say this
do,
because I have run. I have run a couple times from them,
yeah.
Yeah, I've run and I've wanted to run and didn't. I've done both, you know? Yeah. It just happens. Like that rat thing you're talking about. It happens for everyone. Like when I was leaving Mexico and coming to Edmonton, Marie was picking me up at the airport and she told me that she almost left Edmonton the day before because she was just like, oh my God. Like she said she felt like the Christ was coming. So she just fucking panicked. Like all the healing and all the stuff that was about to come up with the three of us being together
Yeah.
just was like, boom. And I'm out.
Get me the fuck out of here. Yeah.
But she stayed. She did. She stayed. Yeah. Yeah. It is helpful to recognize it for what it is when it's happening,
Yes.
because I didn't always have that. I had long stretches. When I say long stretches, I mean like hours or days, which feel like a fucking eternity when there's a war going on, right? Like I it was hard. I did struggle with really remembering what's really going on, you know. I feel like you're you have a little more under your belt in terms of understanding than I did at the time. It seems like it to me because I couldn't reach out like I'm freaking out. You know, by the time I would reach out, it had been, oh, so painful and going on for hours. It doesn't have to be that way,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. It does not have to be stressful or uncomfortable, although it quite often is.
Yeah, I've just resigned myself to the fact that it is. I don't seem to be a Byron Katie cockroach experience or, Eckhart Tolle bench experience. It seems to be a bit slower for me. And I can see why. Like being shown why I can't be hurled into heaven through the experiences just in the last couple days. I mean, I've had lots of those where it's like I touch on it. You see, you don't really want me to show you what you really are. Do you feel that? That's pretty clear. Okay. Okay, I'm scared. Part of me doesn't actually want that. So let's be really honest about that. Let's be uncomfortable about that. Try to forgive it fast. That's been something that's been hard for me. Being gentle. Yeah, still that one's still unfolding, remembering to be gentle.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because ego's an asshole.
Yeah. Vicious.
Yeah.
Fucking vicious.
Hmm.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It scared the shit out of me when I first started looking at it in the summer. I always knew how self-destructive I could be, but I had never been so outwardly, like I started noticing that I want to hurt people. I've always wanted to hurt myself. And it's always been self-directed. All of my hatred has always been very much self-directed. So this summer, when I really started looking at the ego and it got full on vicious, wow, yeah, it scared me that all of a sudden all of a sudden I was projecting all of this hate towards others. Like, wow, vicious.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to go somewhere, right? It always has to land somewhere. It's like faith. It's always somewhere. It's in money, it's in a relationship, it's in a bank account, it's in a house, it's in a pet, it's somewhere. It's always somewhere. Usually it's in a bunch of things.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, pulling the projections back. That one's very apparent for me with Andrew.
Yeah.
Pull those projections back as quick as I can.
I had
Because
an
they're
amazing.
vast.
Hmm?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was interrupting you.
No,
Apologize.
it's okay. Go ahead.
Just that I had an amazing experience with projections yesterday that was such a fantastic learning opportunity. I would love to share it with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's one of those experience things, right? Like we can talk about it, but once you have an experience, it's like a picture is worth a thousand words. So somebody connected with me after months and months of not connecting with an apology. They were apologizing, amongst other things, but the two words that were used were arrogant and disrespectful. They were apologizing to me because they felt they had been arrogant and disrespectful. And forgiveness is still and quietly does nothing. So I did not engage with this person. There was some flattery involved, and there was a whole bunch of fluff along with the apology, and I just didn't engage. And this was quite upsetting to that person. And so it quite quickly turned into them being upset with me because I was being arrogant and disrespectful. And again, I didn't engage. I just said, that's interesting. And so that was the end of the interaction. And I kind of got it. Like, oh, so that's a projection. And then I asked Jay to go deeper. And I asked, like, show me what I need to learn here. And so he went deeper, like, this is exactly what a projection is. It was never about you. This person had projected their unconscious guilt onto you. That's what a projection is. So I saw it so plainly that it literally had nothing to do with me. It was all that person projecting all of their guilt onto me. And I forgave them for what they didn't do. Like it wasn't, so I really saw that. Like this is what forgiveness is. You forgive your brother for what they didn't do because it's all my junk that I've put onto them, right? So there's nothing to forgive. So I was really shown that with this beautiful, very quick and very powerful experience. And as soon as I got that, I was then able to let go of a grievance in my world that I had been holding on to for a very long time. Because I really got that there's nothing to forgive. It has nothing to do with this other person. Everything, this grievance that I'm holding against them, this victimhood that I still feel, it's not them, it's me. It has nothing to do with them. It's all of my unconscious guilt coming to the surface so that I can see it. So every time I go in, I look for that grievance. It's just not there. I saw through the smoke screen. Hallelujah. And I'm still so fucking mad at my mom. I can't. Like, it's amazing. We hold these things. Um, and like it can be that simple. Like I had this really powerful experience. I was shown what a projection is and then like really quickly and simply and very powerfully able to let go of this grievance that I've been holding. And I've completely made an exception with this relationship with my mom. Like, oh yeah, I'll forgive this other one, but no, holding strong.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps, right? It happens in baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, spirit's like, okay, now notice this one. Let's be clear about this one.
Yeah. Notice how
Mother
this one's
belief.
still here.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
shelf that for a while, but it's still there.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about my family stuff. I haven't been around them in years, so I don't really know what's going to happen with all that stuff. My mom just went through this weird experience with my cousin. I think my cousin is 38 or 39, whatever, and he moved in with my mom for a couple weeks because him and his wife split up. And apparently he has an eating disorder, so he was throwing up in the garbage cans, not throwing up in the bathroom because he was ashamed. And then they agreed he wouldn't smoke, while staying with her. And he was smoking in the bedroom. He was using toilet paper rolls and stuffing it with bounce sheets. And so she was like, the room smells so weird because it smells like cigarette smokes and weed and bounce sheets. I was listening to my mother go on, and I'm watching my mind, and I'm like, I don't feel like, why would I go visit my family? Like, what purpose is there? Like, I don't see a purpose at this time. Like, jumping into all that. Why would I do that? Why the fuck would I do that? I don't know. I know there's guilt in my mind for sure. Like, shouldn't I want to see my family? Shouldn't I be drawn to them in some way? You know, but I'm really not. I'm just not. Maybe one day. Actually, Andrew said some, I don't know if I shared this with you, but right when my mom's boyfriend died, we were on the phone and she started bringing up going somewhere. And it felt icky to me. I didn't say that to her, but it felt icky to me because it felt like she was trying to make sure she could fill all her time so she didn't have to sit with her discomfort and grief. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's how I felt at the time. And so she wanted to go on this trip, and I was like, "Oh God, Mom, just when you get home, because he didn't die at home. They were on vacation when he died. When you get home and you have to walk through all the steps, getting the death certificate and taking care of all the paperwork and shutting things down, credit cards, whatever's in his name has to get shut down. When you're doing all that, just go through all of that, and then we can talk about it then, because it's not clear to me what we're supposed to do right now, right?" So I'm telling Andrew about all this stuff, and he says something like, "Do you even want to be around your mother? Like, do you truly feel like it's helpful for the sonship, for healing? Do you really feel like it's helpful to have a visit with her, to be around her?" And I really paused, you know, and I was like, "No." And he's like, "Of course it's no. And it's okay that it's no. And it's not helpful to be together with, like, it's not helpful to be around her. It's just not helpful." And I was just like, "Holy shit." Like, the amount of pressure that I like try to squeeze around certain things, I should like, and he just shows up often as this like really vast reminder of just relax, because this isn't even given right now. You're not even being asked to do this. So just chill, chill. It's not even a given. You're not being asked to do this right now. But future thought is painful and should. Who says I'm supposed to be wanting to visit my family? Is that a rule? I don't think that's a rule, but it seems like it is.
Well, it is in your insane thought system.
Right. So it's insane. I
Yeah,
need that reminder.
yeah. Because it's bringing up so much guilt in you, right? So that's the purpose. It's just your ego thought system making you feel guilty.
It was really nice today to feel the prompt the last couple days, wait for it to feel really clear, and then call my mom. Like, to have that experience, to have it look like that, and then feel the way it felt. That was brilliant because it was really gentle and flowy. Normally, I'm like angry when I answer the phone. I keep it, but it's there, and his wall goes up. A wall goes up, and there wasn't a wall today. There wasn't an actual wall today. And the fear I had about, you know, telling her, well, Mom, I can't go away with you because I'm going away with Andrew. I'm sorry your boyfriend died, but I can't go away with you. You know what I mean? Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's fucked up, you know? But I was just like, yeah, this is what's going on here. And she's actually had multiple people say, hey, let's go on a trip. Like, come on. That feels so clear to me. Go do that. Go do that. You know, you don't even need me right now. She seems to have this preference, but I'd rather go with you. I gotta say, if it's not given, it's gonna feel like shit. I'd rather not feel like shit. I do enough of that on my own. Yeah. I still have fruit flies and they're still triggering. I think each one I kill is like, I use the tip of my finger.
I want to start a new series. One of the funny things that happened yesterday was I got called arrogant because I said that I'm not a body. I was accused of skipping steps, skipping the steps of because we're all just bodies here, and I said I'm not a body. I didn't skip that step, and then I got accused of being arrogant. So I thought, well, this person really believes that they are still a body, and that everybody here believes they're a body, and that's why we're here. And I thought, well, perfect then. For people who still believe that they're bodies, I'm going to start a new series called Magic for Bodies. Because I used to be a healer and a coach. And so people who believe that they're bodies believe that they have the problems of the body. And so I have this part of me, my transformation artist, who just wants to fix things for people. And so as this whole thing came down yesterday with the projection, there were so many gifts, like there's so many gifts in it. And one of them is that I'm going to start this new series called Magic for Bodies. And Kenneth Wapnick talks about magic, and that as long as we understand that magic is actually, trying to think of the way he said it, as long as like when we do magic, which is like say taking medication or the problem solving that I want to do with you with your fruit flies right now, like using things in the world of form to fix the things in the world of form, this is what magic is. And it works on a surface level, but it doesn't work because it's all just making the error real and then trying to fix it. So Kenneth Wapnick says, you know, like, you're not being asked to deny the body, so don't not do the magic. Don't not take the medication. Just know in your mind what's actually happening. That the magic is working because your mind, that's the idea that your mind can conceptualize. So magic for humans. Magic for bodies. It's going to be my new healing series.
Yeah, I remember the whole diarrhea thing that I've had since I was 15. Like I've had the colonoscopy now. There's nothing wrong. I've been told I'm perfect. Like that's
Yeah,
what
of
the
course.
doctor is like, no, you're awesome. You're good. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Like and I needed that. I knew what the truth was. I knew it was in the mind, right? But I had to walk through all those steps. So I could The doctor stuff was taking up space in my mind. So I
Mhm.
walked through all the steps, had my mystical experiences, and then I could drop it, right? But years ago, I tried being gluten free to deal with the gut issue, the intestine issue, the diarrhea issue, whatever's going on. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be gluten free. And but in the meantime, I have the course in the back of my mind. So I know this is bullshit, but I'm gonna do gluten free anyway. So I do gluten free anyway. And there's this seeming change, right? Oh, I'm gluten sensitive, I guess. Blah blah blah. And then over time, this is great. This is great. So I'm on a field trip with the kids because I worked at a school, right? So I'm on a field trip. We're at a park. We're just playing. And I actually live really close by. So I'd probably been gluten free for, I don't know. I have no idea. 6 months. I don't know. I'm making up a number. I don't really know. It was a while. And guess what happens? Right at the end of the day on this field trip, I crap myself. And I'm like, this diarrhea thing is not going away. Like, if you take the magic and you don't do the work, you don't really lean into what's really going on, the issues just keep coming because it's in the mind. So, of course, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. If I'm not looking at the mind, if I'm not shining the light in the mind, the issues just persist. Like my hand,
Mhm.
there's something in the mind that is like burning, itchy, and scaly.
I
And
love that
nothing I do, do inform on the surface to put on top of it does anything at all. Yeah. It just keeps coming.
because it's the mind that's sick.
Hmm.
Like I love that quote from chapter 25. The body doesn't need healing. The mind that thinks it's sick, or the mind that thinks it's a body, is sick indeed.
Yeah.
Chapter
Like
25.
I do remember when I first started going to Living Miracles. At one point, Andrew and I were going every second weekend. They had a place close to Calgary. So we were going every second weekend for a while. And I remember they're like, no, no, no. Like, let's say you have a toothache. If something is getting in the way of leaning towards Christ, if something is distracting you, and let's say it's a toothache, then go to the dentist, take the Advil, whatever it is, you
Hmm.
know? But like you were saying, be fully aware
Yeah.
that there's something going on in the mind with that. There's something going on.
Hmm.
And maybe it really needs to be focused on. Maybe it doesn't. I have found because like I went through such a 15-year period of being really vigilant about digging, getting to the roots of what this issue is, what this judgment is, but blah blah blah. I have found that at this point, and it's been this way for quite some time, just being aware of what's coming up, that's all that I need to do.
Hmm.
I don't need to know how deep it goes. I don't need to know why it's there, how it got there,
Yeah. You don't need to fix it.
what triggered it, what started it. I just don't need to know that stuff.
Mhm.
So it eliminates so much, and it creates so much space in my mind to just remember, oh, I'm upset about da da da. This is the fruit flies. The fruit flies are really triggering me, Holy Spirit. And I don't really know what that's about. Whatever I need to see from it, help me see it. Help me see it. And then let's hand it back. I'll give it to you, you know?
Mhm.
But if there's nothing I need to see in it, if I just need to notice that there's a trigger there, yeah, I feel like things just got much simpler for me.
Yeah.
At that stage where it was like, yeah, just just see what that it's there.
Mhm.
Whatever the it is, just see that it's there, and you know, yeah.
Look without not without judgment. That's the game.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny you say that. I feel like that never worked for me because I have judgment. So how can I look without judgment? I can't. I can't look without judgment, but I can see the judgment. I can be willing to see the judgments that's there and then hand it over, put it on the altar. Because one of my places that I would hide would be in a statement like that. That's where I would try to hide.
Who are you?
Yeah, see, I feel like I have two answers to that. You
Good.
know, one, like the truth is, I know that I'm the Christ, but the other truth is, I'm afraid of that Christ experience. So I
Mhm.
do believe that I'm a body. I do. I do believe that this is real, even though I know that it's not,
Interesting.
you know? So I know the truth and I can declare it, but I don't want to get tricked into skipping over the part, even if it's super tiny, you still, even 1%, you still believe 1% you're a body. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I see that is like the ego cannot look without judgment, but I am
Mhm.
not the ego. I am the one that looks without judgment because I'm not a body. I'm not the ego. It's because I have a split mind. I'm the Holy Spirit. I'm the decision maker. I'm the one choosing against the ego. So if I'm the one choosing against the ego, I'm not the ego.
I know, you're totally right. It's totally accurate. And I used to use those things to hide.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I was aware of it. I I pushed those things aside. Truths. I just put them over here because I
Hmm.
was misusing them.
Right.
And I went back to basics. Like, what do I really feel? What do I really think? Am I handing it over? I went back to basics.
Hmm.
That's that seemed to be my path.
Yeah.
And then now, now I can tell, I can feel all those big idea truths. Now you use them. Now they are your pillars. They are the things that hold the Christ experience up. I'm I'm always though, I'm always on the lookout for the possibility that I'm glossing over some discomfort. Like the part in the oh, and my course is downstairs. Um, the very first thing paragraph on the pages, which is where it says what this course is not aimed to teach love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but it will show you the blocks
Yeah.
to the awareness of love's presence,
Yeah.
the blocks.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see. Show me the blocks. Show me all the blocks. Those other big truths, like I am not a body, this is all an illusion, all that stuff, those things are just so solid. And those experiences are gonna swoop in when it's time. Seeing the blocks, that's my only function. Seeing the blocks.
There's only one block. It's ego.
Yeah.
It's the part of your
Yeah.
mind that believes
But
it's
to me,
separate.
it's too broad. It's too broad. Oh, that's funny. My computer. Hold on. I need to plug in. Hold on. I'm at 10%. Hold on.
Oh shit!
Hold on. Shit.
And
Did it
just
go
for the
dark for a
record,
minute?
yeah, just for the record, if there's anyone paying attention, this is one of the ways the ego will try to take you out when you're on to something. You know you're
Oh,
on to something when shit like this happens.
I love that video of Living Miracles where they're doing a recording and something happened in the room. I don't know what happened, but uh they didn't lose connection because the video didn't stop, but something happened in the room, like the I don't know what, but David was like, "Oh, the ego's not happy about this."
Yeah.
Like it's some ominous presence, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure this is working. Yeah, we're working. We're good. We're good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. For me, using there's you're right, there's only one problem. The problem is the belief in separation from God.
Yep.
So and that is like that is something I'm to pay attention to now. The only problem is actually the separation from God. But there was so much I had to yep.
Still.
There was so much I had to walk through before I could embrace something like that.
Oh yeah.
Like I had to it's like that truth was given to me and then it's like, okay, now come back over here. And now we're going to walk through this belief and this belief and this and this and this and this and this. And but that's just how it was for me.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like Byron Katie and Eckhart Tolle, obviously it can be different.
Well, it is different for everyone.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I
Highly
mean?
individualized curriculum. Jesus meets us where we think we are.
Yeah, and I think you're showing up saying these things to me because how do I say that? Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting closer now. I tend to zoom in when I'm really
It's getting
fucking pay
serious.
attention to this
Yeah,
shit,
I'm paying
Chris.
attention. Okay.
Like, um, you can let go of being concerned or worried that you are going to skip over something, that you're going to try to skip over something that's just a little too uncomfortable. There's something like that. There's a reminder that is something like that going on because there for sure is guidance for those big ideas. This is all an illusion. You are not a body. There is only one problem. It is the separation from God. Like there's some reminder coming through here for me. Like I notice I'm getting this reminder, and I'm also like noticing this worry about you. It's like, oh my God, is she trying to gloss over and skip some really uncomfortable things?
That's what I got
Because
accused
in
of
my
today.
past, it's like I
Mhm.
saw people do that a lot. Like that was my beginnings. Those were my beginnings with the course. That was my launching
Mm.
off point. That's where spirit launched me with the course off of notice this hiding, notice this spiritual grandizing,
Right.
this ego spirituality,
Yeah.
you know, everything to not sit with what do I really think, what do I really feel. That's what I felt like I was seeing. And it was like, don't do that. Don't get caught up in that shit. You don't
Yeah.
need to get caught up in that, you know? So there is some concern still in there that I am going to very cleverly try to skip something
Yeah.
because the ego will do whatever it can to
Mhm.
try to skip over discomfort, right?
Mhm.
And I do that worry is still in there. It's not what it used to be because it's not the first time I've gotten this message. You don't have to worry about missing something anymore, Christine. Like that, I have gotten those reminders. So
Mhm.
tonight, I feel like it's even more like boom. It's more solid. Yeah, yeah. It's been a magical ride.
Fuck yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
It's
I have a picture that I want to use for my Facebook profile. It's, the hand with the light, and it says, I just know. So I'm gonna put that on my
I just
Facebook.
know.
Because it would triggered me when Calico started talking about the I know mind. I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta put that on my Facebook profile. I just know.
I know that I know mind it's horrendous.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it
It's
really
really
is.
horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strong in this one too. Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
We used to joke about that in the Tao community because we're battling our mind. It's a very similar process in the Tao community with what we're doing here with the purification of the mind. And so we would joke that, like people like me, with the trauma that I've experienced and the mental illness that I've experienced in this lifetime, I had to develop a very strong mind so that I could survive the hell that I've been through. And then we get to
Hmm.
the Tao community and we realize that that strong mind has gotten us this far, and it's going to be a fucking bitch to unwind it because it has gotten so strong. And so it's a very similar process here. Like the unwinding of the ego, um, it's so funny to me that it's such a similar process. It's totally different, mostly because the idea of it is different, the intention behind it. They're glorifying separateness, and I'm undoing separateness. But it's the same process, unwinding the mind. And it's strong because it had to be that strong.
Yeah, it's great actually because the difference is most people do it for self-improvement, for improving the personality, the self,
Yeah.
the the form, the life and form. But we're doing it to drop that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing that to let it all go, to drop it all.
Yeah.
Whatever that happens to look like. I don't know, but that's the intention, which is very different than self
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we were trying to be somebodies. Like I was when in the Tao
better
community, right?
somebody.
Yeah, like I was a powerful somebody. I was a powerful spiritual ego, right? I had been given all of this power, and now I'm on the opposite journey. I'm becoming a nobody. I love how that's from Ram Dass. Like that's the journey here is we're becoming nobodies.
Hmm.
It's an undoing, it's an
Yeah.
unwinding. It's totally upside down and backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a fucking ride. What a magical mystery journey. Magical mystery tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clueless, carefree, cared for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that from Calico too that I just added to it. And I don't mind. I don't mind. I really notice I mind less. Like I care less about things. I'm like I just mind less. Like, oh, I don't mind. It's
I
okay.
like the I don't mind. Like my how do I say that? Like mind isn't a verb. I don't mind, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm watching a fruit fly.
You
Oh my
love the
god,
fruit fly?
there's two of them.
Do you love your brother right now?
My brother, the fruit fly. I've been murdering my brothers for weeks.
Oh, jeez.
They must want to be murdered because they keep showing up and they know what's going to happen. Yeah.
It's good when you can laugh at the ridiculousness of it all.
Oh my god, it really is. Like there's a serious preference
Hmm.
that these fruit flies are not present. Yeah. Like I really want it my way. And I know they shouldn't be present. It's just the I know thing unfolding. It's like
Absolutely.
they don't need to be here. I don't want them here. Why don't they go away? It's all that,
Hmm.
resisting what is, how things look. Something is shifting with that though, because I had tomatoes today. I've been guided to eat tomatoes, and normally they like burn my mouth and itch my mouth and that kind of thing. And I swear nothing was happening today. Nothing was, I ate a whole little tomato and nothing was happening today.
Hmm. I've really been enjoying letting go of my food preferences. It's been quite the adventure of not only of mind watching, but of like being aware of preferences, being aware of the ridiculousness in that story, the whole cause and effect thing, thinking that this food is going to cause whatever effect in me, and just letting that go and just eating the food anyway. And I have such an exception to mayonnaise. As I say that, I'm like, yes, but I can't touch. There's a big fucking box around the mayonnaise.
I love mayonnaise.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
I fucking love
How?
it.
How? How can you? How can you? How?
Um, I've always loved.
Oh goodness.
That's great.
It's so funny because I can see I can really see the ridiculousness of the mayonnaise monster right now. So funny. Like wow, it's huge and it's so irrational. So funny.
It is interesting though, right? Because like mayonnaise and deep fried food or you know, like all those things that the world would call high cholesterol food or bad for your heart food or whatever, that's in there. That is still in there for me. It's like, oh my God, my arteries are probably getting blocked, blah, blah, blah. Like we
Just eat more
ordered that
pomegranates.
burger today. What?
Just eat more pomegranates. You're fine. Trust me, I'm an
Right.
expert in nutrition.
God. Yeah. It really makes the experience of food usually actually quite unpleasant and not like fully enjoyable, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that was talked about today in the retreat. Was Andy went off about his um, oh yeah, all of a sudden he developed all of these restrictions. He got spiritual guidance on how to eat more spiritually. And at first he just started following it because he thought it was for guidance and it was going to help his spiritual journey. And then he started really seeing and recognizing that really it was just the ego had put a bunch of restrictions on him, things that he was no longer allowed to do. There's a lot of stress and fear around food. High cholesterol, what we're not supposed to eat, what's healthy, what's not healthy. I got all caught up in that. That's a big part of what I'm unwinding now.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like, wow, just eat the fucking food because it tastes good, because you like it. I have so many rules, protocols, rituals.
Hmm.
Yeah, unwinding all of that fucking bullshit. Just and seeing it for what it is. Seeing it for what it is.
It's funny. It never gave me what I thought it would give me. Like the reward that's supposed to happen
With
when you
what?
follow the rules.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
reward that everybody says happens never
Yeah.
happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've experienced, like, I have so much evidence, so many rewards for all of this. And I used to tell people, all of your hard work will pay off when you start making changes to improve your health. And this is like I used to teach people how to do this. All of your hard work will pay off, all of it.
Not once did I see improvements or rewards in terms of uh diet or exercise. Like I swear not once. So
Yeah. I
I'm like,
believe you now. I
what am
believe you
I
now.
doing?
Yeah, yeah, I totally believe you. Because that wasn't part of your insane thought system.
Yeah, I guess for me it was like, okay, you think this is real. I'm gonna show you that it's not, and then you can see how you feel about that. Because it did show me this doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
People say this is supposed to happen when I do this, but it's not happening.
It's not-
So how could that be true?
Yeah.
Well, you must be doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Let's play that game for a while.
Yeah. You want guilt? Let's throw some guilt on you, see if that helps.
You know what happened? Oh my God, this is so funny. So when I was in my late 20s, I was actually going to the gym like 5 days a week, and 3 of those days was twice in a day. And then I got the job at the school out here in Edmonton. So I moved out here And one of the first things I did was I went to visit some gyms to get a membership. And when I found out what the price was, like, I remember going into one gym and I just walked in and I said, I want to know what your membership prices are. And they didn't want to answer me. They wanted to corral me into a room and have a little meeting. And I was like, no, no, no. I just want to know how much it is. And then they said, it's $40 every 2 weeks. And I started laughing because in Ontario, for me, it was $40 a month. So twice as much. Like I couldn't believe it. I just started laughing. And and then I told them, this is what I pay in Ontario. And they were just like, so I realized, like this isn't for me. This is not for me. This is not even something I want to entertain, like paying twice as much. It was so ridiculous to me that I just was done. It helped me be done. It was very blamey at the time, but it actually helped me be done. Yeah.
With the gym?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love going to the gym. I'm gonna go after this.
God, I remember being in Mexico and one of the guys there was like, come to the gym with us, Christine. Come to the gym with us. Like, no, I don't think so. And then he says, you'll feel better. And I'm like, feel better than what? Like, I don't think so. I really, oh God. No. For me, like the whole gym thing, like the loop of making a plan, being attached to the plan, not being able to live up to the plan, the fucking revolving door of expectations and attachment to outcome and everything. It was just torturous,
Mhm.
absolutely torturous. I remember going to see a nutritionist. Oh my God, this was so great. I'll go see a nutritionist with, Christine thinking, oh, I'll learn some stuff about food and calories and maybe I'll lose some weight or, you know, definitely had that attachment. Little did I know it was about something totally different. So I go in, I meet this woman. She's lovely. We talk. She gets some information from me. And then she asks me to write down everything I eat. Literally, write down a glass of water, sandwich, soup, whatever. Write down everything you eat and how you feel about it when you're eating it. Ooh, okay. So I start doing that. And what I start to notice with every single thing that I eat, whether it's a glass of water, a glass of milk, cake, pizza, salad, it doesn't matter. I felt guilt and shame. Each and every one of them. Even when I think I'm doing something right, I still felt guilt and shame
Mhm.
because, oh, I should be drinking more water. I should be eating more lettuce, more salad, more whatever. I should be eating less blah 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 blah, less mayonnaise, less whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I can't win. I can't fucking win.
Mhm.
No, you can't. You cannot win anything in form. You never get ahead in form. You
Yeah.
never get a reprieve in form. Form does not offer reprieve. So I go back to her and I'm like, okay, this is what I realized. I feel guilt and shame for each one. And she's like, okay, okay, okay. And she kept pushing from because I told her, look, I'm not gonna work out. I'm not gonna commit to that because it is a revolving door of shitty experiences. And she's like, okay, can you commit to looking at fitness magazines? And I was like, fitness magazines? I didn't know how I felt about that. I didn't feel particularly motivated to do that. And then, so we met twice. And then what happened was after that, we had been emailing. And then all of a sudden, it was like she no longer existed. Her email just didn't exist anymore. There was nothing to send anything to, nothing to respond to. It was like, oh, okay, this is what I needed from this, and this is done now. This is what it was for. It wasn't to lose weight, to learn about food, eat healthier, fuck meat. We know how to eat healthy if that's what we want to do, if that's what we're attached to. We don't need another book or whatever to tell us, right? So it was for noticing guilt and shame. Form offers guilt and shame. I just happen to be shown it through food. Form only offers blah. It's just no. You're not gonna find any answers there. You're not gonna find Christ in form. Yeah.
Kenneth Wapnick says, you will never be a happy ego, ever.
Mm.
Egos don't get happy. You can never be a happy ego. You can never make this a happy dream. You cannot do, that's not what we're here to do.
Yeah, but we get tricked into those moments where we think we're happy. The ego's happy for a moment or a
Yeah,
day or 2 weeks or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
you know? And even all that happiness is false.
yeah.
It's really, really false. Like I used to watch Andrew. This is 10 years ago when we first met. I used to watch him get really excited about being on a roof or dumpster diving. He used to dumpster dive so he could salvage and collect and um, less waste going in the landfills and that kind of thing, right? Of course, it was really about I have to hoard. I have to hoard and hoard and hoard and hoard, right? It
Mhm,
was, but on the surface, he seemed so happy to dumpster dive and blah blah blah, and then he would tank. He'd soar with happiness, and then later that day or the next day, he would just drop.
mhm,
And I can remember watching this and being like, "That's not happiness. That was never happiness. That was never joy.
mhm.
That wasn't those things. They're mislabeled. They're actually mislabeled. It's actually pain. Like when we seek pleasure
Mhm,
in form
mhm,
and mislabel it, it's actually pain we're
mhm,
experiencing. It's actually a form of pain. But we tend to not know that. We
mhm.
tend to get fooled, like tricked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is where Mighty Companions can come in the most. Because I keep being aware, I'm aware of how sneaky the ego can be. And I'm aware that there have been these shifts in my world and everything has changed. And I'm watching the ego, I'm watching the insane voice, I'm listening to the insane voice, I'm watching the stories unfold. And I'm just separating further. I'm not the stories, I'm not the ego. It's not me. It's not who I am.
Yeah. Mighty companions are really great for showing up as a reflection of love and showing up as a reflection of what it is you want to heal.
And
Yeah.
yes, but I think more powerfully showing up as a reflection of what you're not seeing.
That's what I mean
Yeah,
about the healing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Because it signifies that there's a readiness to look at this issue or this judgment or this belief or this thought. And so the perfect people show up to hold the space
yeah.
and to reveal.
Yeah, to trigger you. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I really got that yesterday that my brother is my savior. The one that triggers me because I was quite triggered when I first got accused of being arrogant and disrespectful. before I got the lesson of the projection, I also in that lesson got the understanding that in the trigger, like my brother is my savior
Absolutely. Yeah, like with
because I
Andrew.
couldn't see it. I needed him to show me. Needed him to show me
Yeah,
because we can't see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. With Andrew, I mean, honestly, I want to stab him and drop kick him, and I want to hug him with gratitude. I do. It is like that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when the three of us were together, Marie, Andrew, and I, when we were living together, there was always someone that wasn't insane in the moment.
Yeah.
That's why there's three.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why there's a third. There's always someone that is not insane. Because in that type of holy encounter, those holy encounters, like when you live together and it's guided to live together,
Hmm.
some shit's gonna get exposed.
Fuck yeah.
That's what it's for, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And every time there was always someone that was able to hold the space and not be insane. And we all took turns. And it would happen very naturally.
Yeah.
Very, very naturally. Yeah, it's a really brilliant system.
Hmm.
Spirit has, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
do it like this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
It
makes
is.
sense to me that you're feeling like a possible community kind of experience. Like it seems to me like the prayer of your heart is quite clear.
Yeah. It is.
And so, mighties will show up.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, I always found that, like one mighty would trigger something really deep and uncomfortable, and then another mighty would be the gentle.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a Google search somewhere and it said that David had a community in Canada. He had said that he had communities in Canada, the US, and in Mexico. Do you know anything about David having a community in Canada?
Mm, I don't know. I don't know how old that information is.
I'll have to do some
Because I
further.
know years ago there was something in Alberta, and then they closed that down. And I want to say there was something in BC going on. I don't know though. I don't know. They had something in Hawaii for a while, and then that place got sold, or they let it go, or it was being rented. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. How are you doing on your application?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. I didn't work on it today. I did work on it yesterday. I haven't started the video yet. Um, yeah,
If
I'm.
it's helpful, if I don't know if it's helpful or not, but I'll just put it out there. If you want to like just join on a Zoom, not recorded or not, whatever you want, but just join and just have a mighty sitting here with you while you're typing or writing it down or whatever. Sometimes that can be incredibly helpful. So
Mhm.
if you feel a tug in that direction, I'm available. I can just hold space or you know?
Thank you. I really
I
appreciate
didn't
it.
have that really, because I mean, I did have that, but I didn't use it. You know what I mean? I didn't use
Yeah.
it in a way that would have made things a lot easier, you know, because I would wait and wait and wait and wait. And then when I was really desperate, then I would call it. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
As soon as you're uncomfortable, boom, reach out.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's available. That's
Hmm.
what I learned with one of my times at Living Miracles.
Yeah.
As soon as you feel stuck, as soon as you're uncomfortable, pause, go join. Pause, go join. Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mhm. Yeah, you have a mighty here that has been.
You got a bit of experience.
God, that was funny. I even had to print it out. I had Sarah saying, "Okay, forget the computer. Forget the computer. Go print it out." So I did. And those fucking sheets sat on my coffee table. I saw them every day for a week. It took me so long. Yeah, it felt like an eternity.
Mhm.
Because those papers sitting on my coffee table felt like this. They were just like staring at me. Come over here. Come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, stop. Stop.
Got it.
But I wouldn't move them. I would leave them there, you know? I mean, it's really funny now. It was really intense at the time. Like, really intense. Yeah.
I had to make you uncomfortable, otherwise you wouldn't have moved. Sign
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. You had to be made really, really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to laugh at it all.
Yes.
Let's end there. I
Okay.
feel the need to get the fuck out of here. Thank you. I
Okay.
love you.
We love you too.
Have a good night.
Bye.